Green villains.
And welcome back to the Green Villain Review. Ha! I got it before you.
Yeah, fuck you, man.
Yeah, fuck you too.
Yeah.
Ha! We're back to the Cartoon Network reviews.
He's Duke and I'm Mayhem.
Last time we left on a pretty sour note of the fact that the last movie we did was Underfist. And that ended on a sour note for the fact that it was basically the end of that era. Well, we're entering into this era, and we're back to some pretty good movies, in all honesty.
Thankfully...
I'm pretty sure it, skipped a bit of time, basically.
Yeah, thankfully with the movies, they weren't all affected by this new era. Like, it was still people with their own shows and movies, making their own stuff, thankfully. But then it got bad.
Yep. Anyway, the first one, I actually liked this movie for when I was a little kid. It is called Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends, Destination Imagination. For Destination Imagination, the description is, Destination Imagination is a television special of the animated television series Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends. The plot of the special follows Frankie, who becomes trapped in a huge, mysterious world where she is treated like royalty, but forced not to leave. Blue, Mac, Coco, Eduardo, and Wilt journey through the world to rescue her facing perils and challenges along the way.
That sounds like a TV special, alright?
Yeah, no, that's the thing. It was actually very good when I watched it. It was very, very touching because it was a lot of. It was just very nice. In all honesty, it was cute.
This reminds me, of the Gravity Falls finale with Mabel.
Yeah.
It very much reminds me of that, but obviously, this is a very different reaction to being a god of a world.
Well, in this case, what basically happens is this entire world is just controlled by an imaginary friend who's essentially kind of like a little child who just has no friends.
Yeah,
and he's like, I'll treat you like royalty if you become my friend.
Which is like, aw.
Yeah, but then it gets a little creepy of, no, you can't leave!
Don't leave me!
Yeah, basically. It was a very good movie, and the series overall, after this point, God, I love this series.
Yes, Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends. It was a very stylistically pleasing show, and the stuff that happens in the show is also the characters and stuff like that. They make sense. The reason why this character is like this is because a child made him.
It was a very cute show. We said before, it's basically Toy Story 3. Okay,
why?
Now that we're done crying, let's talk about a shitty one.
Oh. On to the bad ones now.
It is the live-action movie, Scooby-Doo, The Mystery Begins.
Oh, it's the bad one.
I will read the plot real quick. The first paragraph.
Oh, no.
In Coolsville, Ohio, a pet adoption fair is held. Scooby-Doo is up for adoption, but nobody wants him. Later on the way back to the pound, Scooby is accidentally left behind. Seeking shelter from a thunderstorm, he comes across a graveyard where he witnesses two ghosts rise from their graves. Scooby panics and runs away, ending up in the bedroom of Norville Shaggy Rogers, a clumsy and geeky outcast. The two quickly bond, and Shaggy adopts Scooby.
What's up, man?
Yeah, this movie was released back in 2009.
Oh.
I remember it not being that good, considering the fact that Scooby was a CGI monstrosity.
Yeah, he was always a CGI monstrosity, but this one was where it was bad.
Yeah.
The first two live-action Scooby-Doo movies, the one where they go to Spooky Island and then Monsters Unleashed, those were amazing. Those are what live-action...
I love those movies.
Those are what live-action adaptations should be.
I love those movies. When I was little... since we're not going to talk much about this shitty movie.
Since we're just going into the good Scooby-Doo movies.
No, we're not.
I
want to say something about Scoob. This will be my public statement of Scoob. Fuck Scoob!
The most recent one. That weird animation one.
The animated movie, Scoob. You know, the one where they did not contact the original cast to tell them that they were not getting the roles. They just did not mention it. Yeah, Matthew Lillard, the original cast, they basically found out as soon as the trailer came out.
Oh. Fuck you too, man!
And then you've seen the movie. Have you seen the movie?
I've not.
They sound so off.
Ugh. That's why too. Hearing everything that was happening to that movie, and then when it came out, I was just like, I'm gonna skip that movie.
Yeah, it was very unfortunate, honestly. Anyway, let's get to a different movie, because that one sucked.
Yeah.
In other words, let's get to a good one. Ed, and Eddie's Big Picture Show.
Yes.
That was a good movie.
Yes.
That was a damn good movie. What are your thoughts on Ed, and Eddie as a show?
It was the weirdest show, because,
It was weird.
you never saw the parents. You never saw any parents. It was another, codenamed Kids Next Door.
Yeah.
It was just, it allowed kids to, it had a show about these kids doing whatever they wanted, and literally their reasoning behind doing what they wanted was to get a quarter for a job break.
They had a different kind of thing in all honesty, because Kids Next Door had a whole thing of,
they're
adults are the enemies. In this one, it is, do we have adults?
Yeah,
I don't know. Let's just have some fun.
Are we just a city of kids? No.
Cul-de-sac of kids.
Cul-de-sac, sorry.
Because, mind you, it is this one small cul-de-sac. That's the thing.
The
entire
entire
setting
show
was set in one small cul-de-sac. And then the movie comes out, and it's like, holy shit, we messed up.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's get to the plot.
Yes.
The Ed's latest scheme has backfired heavily and left the cul-de-sac in a state of devastation. The other children have been severely wounded.
What the?
And decide to confront the Eds violently.
Oh my god.
After narrowly escaping, the Eds decide to search for Eddie's older brother for protection. However, Eddie does not actually know where his brother lives. That's the first paragraph.
I forgot that beginning. Jeez.
The beginning is messed up. No, do you remember the beginning? Because what happens is the credits are playing for introducing the movie, and interspersed between it are scenes of the Ed kids just running away.
Yeah, it doesn't
And also
show.
scenes of the kids getting ready to beat the shit out of the Ed boys.
And they never actually say what they did in the entire movie.
They don't. I love this movie though, because there were so many plot lines they decided to wrap up of these different characters coming together to meet each other, different relationships being tested, Ralph with his pig. That was a very important one.
Very important. This was the technically series finale.
This was the series finale.
Yeah,
Yes.
yes. So it was the final thing that wrapped everything up.
I love this show. Anyway, on to another bad movie.
Oh.
Ben 10 Alien Swarm.
Oh my god, this is the live action one.
Yep. You know what? I'll give this movie credit. They fully recreated Kevin's car in this movie, and it looked so badass. It looked so good.
But look at everything else.
Everything else is weird. Everything else is super
What
weird.
is that thing in the back, right next to him?
Humongousaur?
Oh my god, he looks like the Thing.
My question for you was, what are your thoughts on Ben 10?
So, Ben 10.
We mentioned before, this is where we're going to go into what are your thoughts on Ben 10 Alien Force?
It was a natural progression of the show. It was, the same way that, I would compare to, Sweet Life of Zack and Cody. To Sweet Life on Deck. It was a different spin, but a natural progression that worked in universe.
I love Sweet Life on Deck, and I love that show just as much. The movie, not as good. But the show, I loved the show. Favorite quote from the show. Gwen, remember, you gotta treat a woman like you would treat a car. And then just Kevin just looking at her. And then Gwen, go on. And Kevin says, nah, I sense I've made a grave mistake. Even better though is Ben in the back just with his dumb smile.
Just Kevin just sitting there just I fucked up.
He basically says that, I've made a grave mistake.
So, this live action movie, is it, supposed to be in universe? Or, what is it?
The film opens as Ben, Gwen, and Kevin are negotiating with a group of black market dealers attempting to sell them alien nanochips, which are causing interference with the Omnitrix. One of them reveals herself to be Elena, a childhood friend of Ben and Gwen. Elena explains that she had set up negotiations to lure Ben out into the open, to seek his help in finding her abducted father.
But why mess up the fucking Omnitrix? What the fuck?
As somebody who watched basically every episode of Ben 10, I had a big problem with Elena, not because of her character in general. I thought she was the childhood friend from the werewolf episode. I thought she was that friend.
Like someone who was actually there before.
Well, the werewolf episode, they introduced this Native American girl who is a close friend of Ben and Gwen.
You thought her...
I thought that was her the whole time, so I was so confused. I was like, why are you here? Wait, your father went missing? Wasn't he a Native American guy who's still in that area? Like, what is happening? And then I realized later on when I'm older as I was like, she was just some character that was introduced.
That's the problem with you, Duke. You remember everything.
I remember everything. So when I see a movie that's like, don't you know we've been friends forever?
Forever.
I'm sitting here like, no.
Wait a second.
Yeah,
that wasn't in page.
That wasn't in page 756.
56 in subpage 2. Like that.
It wasn't even in the spin-offs.
Of equal size.
Of equal size.
Like that's the problem whenever like you have like a show that's like for someone's entire life. That's the problem if you have, well, we've known each other for so long. It's not like, I've heard the legend of this guy that you can help us. Can you help us?
No, I'm sitting here just being like, okay, so you said that you've known this person your whole life. Nope.
Nope.
Looks back in memory. No.
Was there any time he was actually
in general, this movie was very weird for the fact that, no, this is another movie, weirdly enough, that they had a canonical transformation. Like, that's the weird thing about these Ben 10 movies. They have moments where it's like, here's this new transformation, it's canon now. And it's like, wait, what? Okay, that's pretty interesting. Of, like, the first movie, we had Way Big. That was the canonical transformation that was introduced in that movie. The second movie, which was the live-action one, we had that time-traveling dude, and he was able to transform into that. It then became canon in the show. Alien Force. It became canon in Alien Force specifically. No,
Okay.
Ultimate Alien, actually. Where we had Ultimate Ben 10 from the future. Once again, it was not that good of a movie. But, hey, we got a pretty interesting transformation out of it. It was a little nanomech dude. It is basically the only version of this species. Essentially, what they did was they had all the nanomechs flying around, and then he becomes one of them, but in a humanoid form, so it's like nano-humanoid version of himself. It's weird. It's very weird, and it made no sense.
Okay, yeah, what?
It's like if you grab this can, it's like, now I will become the can, and it's like, now you're the only part of that species. It made no sense.
It makes no sense. Alright.
Anyway, next movie. Another live-action movie.
No!
God damn it. Welcome to Scooby-Doo, Curse of the Lake Monster.
Oh, it's the sequel!
It's the sequel. Look at Scooby in this.
Oh.
God. He looks like he got even more deformed.
Look at Velma.
Look at Velma. I like the way you said that. Look at Velma.
This is the one where Fred gets his hair dyed, and it's actually
No.
blonde. No, it's not?
No, it wasn't that he dyed his hair. What happened was he looks into basically a window where there's a display of his original outfit.
This is the one where this happens, yeah.
He looks at his original outfit and says, maybe, and then runs away.
I remember one of the live actions where Fred didn't have his blonde hair, and then all of a sudden, he gets it dyed, and he's like, this looks nice.
I will read the plot. School has just ended for the summer, and Velma, played by Haley Kiyoko, Shaggy, played by Nick Pilatus, and Scooby, played by Frank Welker, meet up with Fred, played by Robbie Amell, and Daphne, played by Kate Melton, so they can go to meet Daphne's uncle, Thorny Blake V, who has given them summer jobs at his county club in Airy Point. That skips out on a few things, including the fact that
they log in and they open it, like, the first paragraph with everybody's actor names. That's so they can make it look longer.
Yeah. No, that's the thing, though. It was not that memorable. Considering the fact that I look back at this list and I went, oh yeah, that was a thing. It was 2 movies, luckily.
Like, that's the thing, too, is that, like, we barely remember this movie, and yet we go so easily to the other 2, like, the original 2 movies.
Yeah, that's the thing. It was not good.
My only problem with the live-action Scooby-Doo stuff is that, for some reason, with the Scooby-Doo movies, they're so different from the show in that the source of the problem isn't like this explained science thing. Like what they did in the show was disprove these things weren't supernatural.
Yeah, no,
Like-
that's the thing. Every episode of the show had basically this moment of unmask the villain. In the movies, a lot of the times it's no, there's no unmasked villain. It's just actual supernatural stuff.
Yeah, and that it was just because it was so different.
And yet, with the original 2 live action movies, they actually still even then have a unmasked moment of like, let's unmask this villain,
Mr. Bean.
But this movie was not that good.
Yeah,
It was not.
It was a. They wanted to make another.
It
live
wasn't
action
reanimated bad, but it was bad.
It's
That-
very low on the list.
Now we have levels. At level 1 is just reanimated.
It's automatically at the bottom.
Yeah.
It is the bottom.
On to the next movie. I actually liked this movie when I was little because it was very unique. It was called Fire Breather.
Oh, this one.
Yep, it is based on the Image Comics comic book series by the same name.
Is this? But like the way that the poster looked with the animation, was this made by Robert Zemeckis?
Let me check. Written by Jim Krieg, directed by Peter Chung.
No.
Uh,
no.
No. Voices Jesse Heed, Dana Delaney, Kevin Michael Richardson.
Oh my god.
Holy crap, okay. Dante Bosco, Tia Texada, Reed Diamond, and Amy Davidson. Okay.
Okay. Like, we got 2 big names on
Interesting.
there. Also Dante Bosco.
That was interesting. Okay.
Is he the fire guy?
No, you ready for the plot? Here's the first paragraph, which will sum up basically the setup of the plot. On the last day of the war between humans and kaiju,
Oh my god.
a human woman named Margaret Rosenblatt, voiced by Dana Delaney, and a male dragon kaiju named Belloc, the king of the kaiju, voiced by Kevin Michael Richardson,
Oh my god, he's
fall in love and had a son named Duncan.
very brave. Very brave.
That was a very brave woman.
very brave lady.
No, I think they even make a joke like that at some point of like, but how did you 2 meet? We don't talk about that.
Let's just, anyway. I don't want to think about that.
Anyway, this movie was, I was a big fan of this movie for the fact that it was basically a superhero movie of this kid who was born to essentially dragon Satan and a very brave woman. We're gonna keep going to that.
It's like it gives me the same feels. It's like my dad was a beatnik that like I thought was nothing, and it turns out he's actually this.
No, he knew the whole time.
Oh, he knew though.
I do love one other thing is that they have a love interest in the movie for the teenage kid.
Is it another kaiju?
No, she is a teenage girl who adores the whole thing about kaijus. She loves learning about history. And then she learns that he is part kaiju, and she goes, "That's so cool!"
You are
That is the perfect insert reason of why she likes why she likes him as a person. No, she just likes kaijus, and then she meets this guy, and is like, "I can be with half a kaiju." And it's like, yeah, that's the reason why she likes him.
Motivation enough.
Anyway, this movie was good. I give it a fire breather out of fire breather. The next movie was
the final one that we'll be touching on today.
the final one we'll be touching on today was called Johnny Bravo Goes to Bollywood.
Bollywood.
Yeah.
Oh mama.
And it was a movie that I do not remember for the fact that I believe it was entirely made and produced, like everything had to do with it in India.
Is that so? That's why you went to Bali. Okay.
Yeah, and I cannot find for the life of me the plot.
What? What? But why? Why would India be so interested in Johnny Bravo?
It was more of a kind of collaboration between India and Cartoon Network.
But what?
Anyway,
Oh my God, wait.
let us just discuss this poster.
Is that Danica Patrick?
I don't. Is that Danica Patrick? Oh,
It was the weird era in between.
oh my god!
Jeez, those eyes on that kid. But this is. It said that it came out in 2011. This is in that weird 2010 to 2015 era where Danica Patrick was literally everywhere. She was in Sonic Team Racing Transformed.
What the hell?
She was in a Sonic racing game.
Why?
Exactly.
But we do get to see the way that American Johnny Bravo looks like, and then Indian Johnny Bravo. That was the next 8 movies of the Cartoon Network.
It's a real shame that one didn't have a plot
Yeah,
summary.
that's a shame that like on Wikipedia it had no plot. That was a shame to see that I couldn't read the plot.
Yeah.
Hey, it is the same thing that happened with a movie that we happened to skip because there was no plot. Party Wagon. Anyway, thank you for watching. Check us out next week when we post the 4th part of this series.
Yep.
We have 2 more videos to make, and we will see you guys next time.
Thank you for watching the Griffins. Fuck you guys.